Halloween, 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 give me some candy. Hello there, mere mortals. I'm wrestling figure El Fuego Booger. That's right, the fiery booger. And I'm joined by my luchador confidant from Sacramento, California, by the name of, what's your name? I didn't ask you at all.
You can call me Muertos.
Muertos. He is El Muerto Sacramento. Muertos. Hey, what's up? It's episode 50. It is Halloween, so we had to wear some masks. And let it be known, I know for the people in the podcast side of the thing, we're wearing lucha masks. We did not plan this. Nick pops up on the StreamYard, and he's wearing a lucha mask, and I literally have one right off camera to put on as we go live. I have the classic Nacho Libre one with the weird mouth, with the weird nose where it pokes your nose out. But I have so much beard hair that the beard hair is like flipping into my mouth and lip, and you can see it. You have a really nice mask. I have like the Walmart one, dude.
It's pretty
Where'd
cool.
you get that?
I actually got it on Etsy a few years ago. It's straight from Mexico, though. This guy,
you got one of those beautiful crafted ones, man.
Yes.
I have friends who've been to Mexico City, and they said that's the wonderful thing is you can go down the street and find all the bazaars and stuff like that. When I was in Cancun, it was kind of the same thing. That is a beautiful art of lucha. I love is the tapestry and the colors of it and everything like that for sure.
I love it as well. I got it.
A lot to get into. Yeah, a lot to get into today. I'm not going to keep this on. All right, I'm going to. Do we reveal ourselves at the same time?
Are we going to do this? I'm going to.
Or do you want to keep your mask on the whole time?
I can keep it. You can take yours off. I'll keep it.
This is too much for you.
I'll stay as long as I can. I think
if you keep it on, someone's scrolling around on YouTube or Facebook, they're gonna be like, "Wait, what's that? Is he interviewing a masked wrestler?"
That's true. I might need to take this off.
No, but if you do at some point, it's fine. I like it. It's cool. Whatever you want to do, dude. So we have a lot to get into. So what'd you say, buddy? I didn't mean to step on you. You gonna keep it on for a minute?
One more minute.
All right. So Bobby Lashley is in All Elite. What? I didn't see this coming. What do you guys know about Rhea Ripley's injury? Is it real? We will talk about that, and we will get into the details of it. Also coming up on today's show, a big celebrity is in talks for the big premiere of WWE on Netflix in January. That is going to be a bigger deal as we get closer to it. We have WWE Crown Jewel. We'll get your predictions and get those on screen within the hour. We'll find out, since it's Halloween, which wrestler scared you as a kid. Ooh. It doesn't have to be that. A big speculative point coming out of today's Backstage Pass, the Patreon. Go get it. By the way, if you haven't done that, Backstage Pass, new episode just dropped today with news about everything going on with WWE, heading into Crown Jewel, the feelings within WWE about how to handle this whole thing, and how there is some challenging situations with it. Liv Morgan's locked into a deal. All right, and we have some Vince McMahon news. Vince McMahon is a new company. So all those topics, we're going to try and touch on them, and we're still going to try and get as many questions and answers in from you guys as well. Let's get right into it. Bobby Lashley debuted last night on All Elite Wrestling. He was the feature point of the show. Of course, Swerve Strickland was in action, and Swerve has turned down MVP, who's been in AEW now for more than a month or so, I want to say.
Yeah.
And has turned down joining his group, the Hurt Syndicate, not the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate. All right, he's turned them down. And what do you think of this whole thing? Bobby Lashley, big debut, big reaction. It looked like a bigger crowd for AEW, which they kind of need. And he comes out there and wrecks people in a really nice designer suit and wrecks some security guys and really messes up Swerve. And they beat up Prince Nana and Shelton Benjamin, and Swerve have a solid match. I can't even remember the finish. I just thought this was well done. It was coming for a while, and we got it. What do you think? Bobby Lashley and AEW. This is a significant pickup for him, and they did treat it like a big deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal for them. I think we did know that he was going to team up with MVP when he got there. Love to see, the three get back together. Shelton Benjamin there too, but they're making Bobby look strong, and I love that. He's a big, strong guy. I think he needs to be a big-time player in that company right away, and him confronting Swerve confirms that he is going to be. So, great presentation with him right off the bat. Love it. Big pop. I think he's going to do some great things in AEW.
Want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. We're going to be taking your comments on screen all show. Obviously, you jumped ahead of the line. If you're in Super Chats, we'll spend more time with what you got, but go ahead and ask us that. Thank you for Benjamin Kimball, who is out there. Thank you to Leonotro, who's FFC, who's out there. I see we have viewers who are checking in from Italy, people watching from Japan. How you doing? Nice. How you doing? That's really, really cool. I can see some people kind of on our world map here. Checking out the show, and of course, a lot of people loyal to us all over the country. You can watch us on demand whenever you want as well. On YouTube, we're on there on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. We just dropped a bunch of big videos. I did one about fantasy booking the end of AJ Styles that just dropped in. How you doing, Scotland? What's up?
Yes.
Glasgow. How are you? You have a question there about Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Please save that. If I don't get that now, I'll get that on before the end of the show. So if you're not watching now, don't worry, we'll get that on in there. So this is something I will say back to Lashley and AEW. You know, we'll be talking about other names that have been locked down with WWE. Doesn't look like Kevin Owens is going anywhere. At least there's no hard confirmation of that. But you know, the report has been that he's been locked down for a while. Yeah. And he was someone who could have went to All Elite Wrestling and made a pretty penny and has friends there and people he's familiar with and would be treated like a real star. But WWE is pretty crowded, but I also think WWE simply just has more television that people watch and maybe more people want to stay there. Now Lashley did feel lost in the shuffle though.
Yeah.
What do you think here? Is this a loss for WWE? Are they going to be feeling the sting of this? Because I mean, I think the pressure is going to be on Lashley now to really be a draw, not just be a guy who's a part of big angles who looks credible and obviously has the MMA background and has done all these big things. I don't think he's ever been put in a position to be a guy that moves tickets. You know what I mean? And that isn't a shot at him. He is an attraction when paired with the right person. You know, I never thought WWE got the Lesnar Lashley match right. I was at a Royal Rumble. It was more of an elaborate angle. I thought, you know, he kind of got circumstantially. He was supposed to have a big match with Bray at WrestleMania 39. He did get to have that big match with Drew, where Drew was supposed to win at WrestleMania, and Lashley got to do a lot of things for WWE during the pandemic. And I did think it wasn't all bad, you know, right. And they premiered him at WrestleMania, but I do think he kind of got lost in the shuffle in the last year or two, especially doing a 10-man match at WrestleMania. You got him on WrestleMania, you know, but you know, what are you gonna do?
It just didn't seem like, you know, since Triple H came over, and no shot at Triple H, but it didn't seem like there was a lot for Bobby Lashley with the way things were going. So I think this was the right move for Bobby. He was, you know, a big name. He did a lot of great things in WWE. And I thought that he could have still continued to do that, but he wanted more. He wasn't getting exactly what he wanted, I don't think. You know, he wanted more TV time, probably wanted to hold a championship, and it just wasn't in the cards for him in the immediate future. So I think that this was the right move. I think they'll put a strap on him over there in AEW, and he'll hold it for.
They got a lot of them.
Yeah,
they got a ton of belts.
they got enough.
You tell me they don't have a title. They don't have one of those 19 championships he can win.
But no, I think it's a good move, and you know, never know if he is getting up there, but don't ever hold out a comeback either.
No, he doesn't look his age at all. No, you know, I mean, the guy doesn't look like somebody who's in his mid 40s.
Right.
You know, the founder. I've also interviewed Bobby. He's a very clean living guy. Yeah. And I don't mean that in the sense of, he eats really well. No, it's everything. You know, like he treats his body like an absolute vehicle. And he's done a very, very good job with it. He's a physical specimen. I know it goes without saying, but being in a room and being right next to him, he's also a very good professional. You know, I also think I don't know if he's outside of the match he had with Umaga and Trump and McMahon at WrestleMania 2007, I think. I don't think he's had that match that people go like, oh, that's a career-defining match. He's won titles. He's done big things. That was maybe what the Lesnar match was supposed to be. Maybe what the Bray Wyatt was supposed to be. I think he's just always been that guy who's always been like, even though he's had the world title, he's had all these different things he deserves. This question here from Edwin. Do you think they're going to do better with Bobby Lashley saying than WWE did? I think there's an opportunity. But this is an AEW that doesn't tell stories the same way that WWE does and doesn't produce things the same way. And they're the challenger brand. So there is a level of we have to do some things just to overcompensate for being in that position, which is natural. I think that's part of it, you know. And Lashley is a guy who I think the simplicity of his powerful character there can work. They've had big, powerful characters like a Wardlow injuries, different things happen. But now you have this new guy who's credible to a casual wrestling fan. Casual wrestling fans know Lashley. They don't love him, but they know him and they know, oh, he's gonna mess you up. Have you seen him before? There's nothing wrong with that. Hitachi said, should Bobby Lashley and Shelton work as a tag team? I think you'll see that plenty. Yeah. I think they're going to want to treat the matches that Lashley has on one-on-one matches as an attraction, at least for the first little while, and having them do tag team matches is a way to hide that. So other topics to get to. Let's jump over to WWE. Let's get it. Coming up, we will talk about that big celebrity that's going to be a part of a Netflix move and what the report is with that one. That one coming out with a backstage pass today, though. Some good news and some bad news. Let's get into the bad news and get that out of the way. This was presented on WWE's NXT Halloween Havoc, a show I still need to watch, which I told was a pretty good show.
It was good.
And you got to see it? It was fun?
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, pretty good. A lot of like fun, over the top, goofy stuff. I heard there was costumes and all that fun stuff. They do a good job with it.
Yeah, they do, especially for the Halloween time. I love Halloween, as you can tell. I'm wearing the mask still.
You don't have to keep wearing it. I'm not gonna make you wear it the whole time.
Hey, it's a choice. It's by choice. I'm gonna have to take it off soon. I'm getting hot under here.
You're getting hot. Imagine someone wrestling in it for an hour.
I know. Props to those guys.
Rhea Ripley was presented in this backstage angle, bloodied up, and a lot of blood. They did blood, worked TV blood, and she was brutalized, alluding to the Judgment Day being involved and stuff like that. And it appears like this is an angle to write her off TV. Oh, is this legitimate? Is this Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer newsletter, reporting that she has a broken orbital bone? Ow. And that this happened on television just about a week ago. She's been bit by the injury bug. The entire time that she's been like this massively popular star and has broken out. She was big in WWE, but I'm talking like the last 3 or 4 years. When she had the title and she won it off Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39 in the year, most of the year she didn't wrestle a whole lot. It was more just the angles and different Judgment Day stuff. And, she went to Crown Jewel and had that like 60-second match where everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, well, why? And then it was, oh, she's hurt. Can't work a full match. Here's how we're going to get you through this, and maintain your star power. And, hey, you're going to have a dud here, but we're going to keep it going. And he kept the angle going. But now injuries, man. Untimely injuries. But I'd rather have an injury in October than have it in March right before WrestleMania, right?
No kidding. Yeah.
And you can't pick the time. You can't pick the time when it happens, right?
No, you can't pick it. And if you are going to get injured, you made a perfect point right there that, she's not going to miss WrestleMania. Hopefully from this, she can probably get back in time for Royal Rumble as well.
No, I think we could see her before Survivor Series.
Yeah, definitely. She could do something. She could come out real soon, like The Undertaker did. He had that little mask that he wore over his broken orbital bone that he did for a short little bit of time. Maybe we could see Rhea Ripley in some kind of face guard. I don't know. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I at first, when I saw the news coming out, I thought that maybe it was a work just to get the story to WrestleMania, or maybe a little bit further down the road. That's what a lot of the people have been talking about. They're like, oh, it's just to get the Liv and Rhea match at WrestleMania. But it's legit, right? This is actually a thing. So I feel bad for her. It's unfortunate. You never want to see any of the top stars, especially in the business, get hurt. But I think she'll be okay. It's not like, a torn ACL or anything like that that's going to require, major surgery to keep her out for a long time. So unfortunate news, but we'll see Rhea Ripley sooner than later.
Obviously, an unfortunate situation. We have some good news about WWE and some controversial news about WWE. So we'll get into the good news first. Liv Morgan reportedly has signed a new 5-year deal with WWE, and she does it as a champion for WWE. She does it as someone who's been in WWE now for more than 10 years, I want to say. And somebody who has had ups and downs and has gone up and down the card, was an NXT product in the black and gold era. When that place was popping, she was not one of the 4 horsewomen. She was kind of one of the outliers and supplemental players in that role. She was in Riot Squad, did all these big things, but now you lock in a bag here. I think this is... people getting these deals with WWE under TKO, I am told, are getting a significant upgrade in money. And this is a company that already spent money to buy WWE. But I think with All Elite Wrestling and other elements out there, and just TKO being a massive entertainment company, money talks, man. Money talks. And if you're going to be in this business and play it big, do it the right way. Liv Morgan is a professional from everyone I've talked to. She does her role well, plays it, knows how to be sprightly and sparkly and devious, and is a larger-than-life personality in the right way. And I don't think we've seen the end of her evolutions of characters. I think you'll see like a new version of her character down the line and different things like that. You know, Madonna, new album. Lady Gaga, new album. And we'll get a new album at some point from Liv. But I mean, she's in this fun little, I'm going to ruin your life character. And I'm enjoying it. What does this say about WWE locking down these people in these big money contracts?
They're taking care of their talent. They're showing you, hey, you come over here, you do some work for us. We're going to take care of you, especially if you take care of us. She's been not carrying the company, but that storyline with her, Dom, and Rhea, topping the charts there. And
she was carrying it when Rhea was on the shelf.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think this is very much well deserved, and this is showing the talent. You come here, you do what we ask, you play your part, you just put your nose down, you grind for 10 long years. We're going to reward you, and yeah, it's like I said, well deserving. Liv Morgan, we're not going to see the end of her evolution. She's got a lot more to offer. I think she's just getting started. I think she's going to improve on the mic even more. I think that we haven't seen all of her in-ring wrestling ability. I've seen some videos out there of her doing many more moves than she actually performs in the ring on television. So I think that she's got more to offer here in the future. But great move by WWE locking down a top talent. I think it just proves to the other talent too, hey, work hard, we'll reward you.
Now, of course, she's been remarking about different issues she's had outside of the ring. There was an arrest for marijuana paraphernalia in her car in December of 2023. She was on Logan Paul's podcast and spoke about this. As the world knows, I did have a run-in with the law. It was all cleared up now. I'm not guilty. Let me take a moment. I can't make light of the situation. I was in a situation where there were things in my car that I was unaware of. So somebody else had it, right? My bail call was work, and I called work right away. She was in jail. She had to call them from jail and tell them that. I called our head of talent relations. I explained what happened. He was like, all right, we'll figure this out. Stay hushed. Go to work tomorrow. Don't tell anyone. Do your thing. I go to work to do rehab, physical rehab, not that rehab. Okay. I'm so guilty, feeling so shameful. I don't want to be mad at myself. I do a lot of community work in WWE. I just ruined everything on something that was my fault, but not my fault. And I have to take responsibility. It's my car, and I take full responsibility for it. And I show up at work, so worried. Thankfully, it all got worked out. So I and also, come on, I don't think it's a modern thing. Back in the day in the 80s, you had Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik, the baby face and the heel getting pulled over in the car for marijuana. It was illegal. It was a federally illegal substance. It is now, but state to state. So but for Liv, I think she's a good egg. It's weird how time changes like that. What a day, Joe Lowry, who you can check out on the channel doing the Enter the Bloodline show with Afa as well.
What up, Joe?
He says that she's got a 5-year deal worth $7.5 million.
Nice.
Good for you. Got that Morgan millions. Got that Morgan millions, baby. So let's get into some other news. This is a story that I have talked to that is really shook the wrestling world and is something that could change the wrestling world in terms of talent very quickly in a few years, if not a year or so.
Okay.
WWE made it official, and this is something I've been hearing about for, I want to say, at least the better part of a year. I heard some rumblings of this last year, and I didn't go on the record with it because I couldn't get anyone to tell me more than just, they're doing something. And that doesn't mean much because they're always doing something with wrestling talent. But now it's kind of defined what this is. WWE ID, and the ID stands for Independent Development, will be a defined, pronounced prospect program for WWE with independent wrestlers who are already active with designated schools, including Cody Rhodes' American Nightmare School, Reality of Wrestling, ran by Booker T, the Black and the Brave Academy in Des Moines, Iowa, ran by Seth Rollins, and several other places. Iowa, we got a Hawkeye there.
That's right.
And they have wrestling schools. They have, I believe, one in New Hampshire as well. And so basically what this is WWE kind of rebooting their developmental system. And everyone says, oh, the developmental is Performance Center. You recruit some wrestlers and maybe get some wrestlers and maybe get some non-wrestler athletes, and they go to the Performance Center. And then you have next in line, which is like college athletes who aren't even wrestlers. And let's give them a next in line deal, lock them in for a little bit of money and see if they can become this. Or you get Olympic athletes and different stuff like that. And you know, Bianca Belair and different people like that from different sports backgrounds. But I heard a lot of fans complain, well, what are you doing for wrestlers? Why aren't you actually bringing in wrestlers to WWE that are ready to go, that are outside of WWE? And then you've seen WWE do that. They brought in Stephanie Vaquer. They brought in Julia to WWE NXT. Yeah. And NXT is this kind of like third brand that's really meant to launch people up to Raw or SmackDown. But what this does is say that these are WWE developmental schools that we have partnerships with, and we will sign prospects and help financially support them in their training in pursuit of things.
It's great.
Now, I've heard many people complain and say, this is WWE buying up the territory system. This is WWE ruining the independent system. What do you think? I'll tell you what I think. I want to hear from the people in the audience because I have more information about this. And I also think some casual fans are not paying attention to this. And I do think this is something a lot more people are going to pay attention to or look back on in the next year or two.
You know, I really just think this makes everything more competitive. I don't think that they're completely going to do away with getting talent from the indies. That's what the indies are for. They're there. But why not, you know, make a little developmental program to where you can get some top tier athletes out of college, D1 athletes, you know, that's
like next in line. They already have it.
They already have it. Yeah. So it's like, you know, to me, I like this move. I think it's going to be good. It's never, you don't need all your developmental talent on screen in NXT. You have to bring them up some other place, and you got to give some talent time too. Not everybody's going to be ready to go right off the bat, but you still see that potential in them. So you put them in one of these schools. I think it's going to be good, but I want to hear what you got to say, Kevin.
Well, here's what I got to say. Cause to be clear, my level of insight on this is based on me working in independent wrestling, not as a wrestler, but as a broadcaster. And I work, I don't want to say intimately, that's not the right word. I feel weird when I say it, but I work closely and kind of get a feel for what people are doing. And I see them once every other month with AAW, and there's a lot of really, really talented people there. And AAW is a promotion where Seth Rollins really got his go. The man who trained him, Denny Daniels, is the promoter. You have Heidi Lovelace, Ruby Riott was there. You've had Callistico. You've had a lot of people that have gone on to All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all the major promotions, and WWE that have been there. We have guys that have already been there and now love working independently. And there's some people that love doing that. So I think there's just some people that say, like, this is WWE getting independents are supposed to be away from WWE, but that's just you imposing your preference on something, you know? And so, like, to me, it's, if you're in independent wrestling, what are you trying to do? You want to get to WWE? You want to get to All Elite Wrestling? Maybe you want to go to Mexico, CML, AAA, or New Japan. You want to get on one of those companies. And 9 times out of 10, I won't say 10 times out of 10,
right?
People want to go to WWE.
Yeah.
Or at least for a while. They would at least want to, like, try it, you know, if they're not, like, fully committed to it. So people say, could WWE do this with Zilla Fatu? I know everyone's just kind of fantasy booking the Bloodline stuff. Zilla has some reported issues behind the scenes that I think need to get settled that are related to some things, but I don't think he's a bad guy by any means. You know, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
And other people saying maybe House of Glory joins WWE ID. I've heard other people say, will Game Changer Wrestling join WWE ID? Will a company like that's on television, like an MLW, do it? I don't know, but I think it's something where they're looking at independent companies that are running 200 to 300 people a show, that are streaming their events, that are filming their events, that are framing things to TV, so that are doing these things at the small hardcore level, like in AEW. Not saying that AEW has a deal, because I honestly don't know if they do. But this is more, notice this was not with wrestling. I know Reality of Wrestling has a show. They have a television show regionally in Texas.
Yeah.
And they have a promotion and they have a school. Black and the Brave they have showcases. American Nightmare, the Nightmare Factory, Cody Rhodes' school, they have showcases that they put online, but they don't have full-fledged promotions. A lot of people that wrestle there will wrestle shows and promotions around the area. I know plenty of people from Black and the Brave in Iowa have made their way over to Chicago to wrestle for AAW and freelance wrestling and all these different things. So for me, Ringside Laurie says, I would be curious if WWE is giving money to these ID schools. I would assume they're doing something. Or or they're giving logistical support or consultation. They're coming in and being like, all right, because for me, like, look at this way too. If you're entering the wrestling business and you want to learn how to wrestle, do you want to go to a school that doesn't have the WWE stamp on it? Or do you want to go to one that does?
I mean,
that's the part I think a lot of people are going to get really, really upset about, because it's going to be like, this is certified, this is not. And is the all right? Well, we're an AEW. We have an AEW official affiliation. We have this affiliation, but also the lines are a lot more blurry under Triple H and how he wants to handle talent and do things. They're working with TNA, and that's such a fluid thing now. It's Jordan Grace popped up on NXT, and it used to be a bigger deal. Not to say it shouldn't be a big deal, but it was, the ooh wow factor is kind of off the bloom, and now it's just like, all right, you see WWE people over there, And also another thing, everyone's like, oh, the WWE people are going to go in, and if you're a WWE ID guy, you're not going to lose. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I don't know if they want to make someone look bad, but Wendy Chu has been contracted to WWE, did a tag team match with Rosemary, worked on Bound for Glory, their pay-per-view, and took the pin. And took a clean pin. And also, that is not the only circumstance where that has happened. And if you're a WWE ID person, I don't know if that's the case. People saying, is this going to go over to England? Well, WWE tried NXT UK. I think this is... maybe you could see something. They had contract deals with ICW in progress, and people weren't happy about them. Some people think it devoured the UK scene, which was much more vast and and really, really hurt them. But that's a whole nother topic. So I think this is good. I think this is a net positive, because also with this, I've been on shows where someone's being scouted. And they're being scouted from WWE, and maybe you've been to wrestling and you're like, oh, and you've talked to some people in indies. Oh, I heard that so-and-so is getting a look, right? And you just got to hear that, and it's unclear exactly what that is until it's happening. You know what I mean? Like, so, this isn't me being, ooh, look at me. I've been in a room where I'm, producing a segment or working on something, and then I kind of have to alter it based on, oh, they're being scouted, so we're going to do it again. I was like, wait, we're going to shoot it again. They're like, no, they just want to see him cut it again in front of them. So I was like, oh, all right. Okay. And then it's like, oh, am I cutting a promo in front? No, that isn't my job,
Yeah, that's awesome though, to be a part of that. And
but also just to be a part of trying to help somebody get like a special opportunity like that is really, really cool too. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. If you're in wrestling and you want to make it to the next level, this is more of a defined way to do that. What's the AAA system in baseball? How does that work? You know more about that. You're involved in it. You're involved in minor league baseball.
Yeah, there's plenty of levels. So I think that this is kind of like another thing. NXT can be seen as maybe the AAA because it's right to the next one. Then you got AA, single A, Pioneer League. That's what I worked in, the Pioneer League, and that's the lowest level of developmental. But I
think I worked when I was with Schaumburg Boomers. I went and threw out that awful first pitch that was a Pioneer League game. I'm not sure about that.
It's that level for sure. But I think they're getting more like this is just it's like, I guess, baseball or another sport that develops their talent at a much higher level. They draft like. They used to draft like 27 rounds. Now it's down to 7. But, there's always room to evaluate more talent. And I think that's what WWE is doing here now. I do have a question for you. You did allude to, does AEW, like, do other independent, promotions, do they join AEW now? Are they going to put out like an AEW ID type deal because they feel like they need to, or how do you see this going with another, like, other companies like that?
There's got to be some kind of response.
Yeah.
I don't know if that response is going to be stated publicly.
True.
But I've been around people when they're like, oh no, but also like All Elite Wrestling uses a lot of uncontracted talent.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that have wrestled for them for most of their existence.
True.
That are not contracted to the company, that are independent wrestlers, that go and work for them in a handful of matches and do a bunch of like the way WWE uses extras, right? There's been a lot of guys who will go into AEW and work for them. Like Thunder Rosa was with them for a long, long time, wrestling big matches on TV, and she's with the NWA. Was not contracted to All Elite Wrestling. But it was just an agreement and a partnership, and there was compensation and different things like that, but there was an understanding. Oh, I'm going to give you this, you're going to give me this, XYZ. And that's another thing with these partnerships that I think is going to validate is if you're a really casual fan, I know there's probably some fans that just don't care about this because I don't watch these shows, right? But here's why you should start caring about this. What if this means someone from WWE shows up at that show?
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like any WWE ID show kind of leaves the I'm not saying that that's going to happen, or I want to sell or promise something that isn't, but like it does make the possibility of it. Like the fact that you go to a show at an armory or a very small intimate venue or the Berwyn Eagles Club where we run for like 300 people, right? And it's awesome, and everyone's right on top of the ring, and it's punk rock, dude. You're right there. It's a very different experience. But when you tell me CM Punk comes out,
right? Yeah,
you know what I mean, or like someone from NXT comes out, or you see the main event, and like I saw that guy in 300 people, and now he's gonna be wrestling on Halloween Havoc. In 2 years, he's gonna be on. That's a big deal, I mean, like AEW's been around for 20 years. We have banners up in the room of people that have been successful on the television, and every show I always have a conversation with. I saw insert this person here who main evented WrestleMania, like in that room. So like, and there's something like that in different parts of the country, like Houston. And congrats to Booker T. He's put millions of dollars into his school, and is, at least I think so, from what I know and I can see. So good on him. We're in the Texas right there. So I think this is great. I know some people are really, really opposed to it, but me working in independent wrestling, I think this is one of the best things that WWE's done for wrestling outside of its own company.
Yeah, just a more clear-cut path to the company.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Let's keep the weird news going here. By the way, I want to remind you, Backstage Pass WrestleVotes is up. That's speculation. Is Triple H going to get physical again? We'll talk about that in a little bit. This was brought up on the show. New episode just dropped. A lot of news on that episode as well. In that same episode, I promised this earlier, news was covered about Travis Scott, the popular controversial rapper in the Kardashian household, reportedly being approached about doing WWE RAW when they go to Netflix in January. This thing on Netflix is going to be huge, right? So this lends me to the idea that they want to try and get any big name they can to get extra eyeballs on it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's huge. The kids love Travis Scott. Older people love
the
Travis
kids.
Scott.
Age yourself so quickly.
Know.
The kids. Oh, you're younger than me, so I'm like, hey, let me give you the Travis Scott thing to handle.
No,
wait,
I'm just
is
saying.
Blink 182 going to be there? I'm not paying.
I think this is huge, though. It's just going to draw more attraction to the show, and Travis Scott, incredible performer. He yet does have some controversy around him at a few of his festivals that he's had, but controversy draws numbers sometimes, and WWE does not shy away from controversy. So I think that I don't think that's even going to get brought up ever. But Travis Scott is going to put on a great performance, I believe, here for the first Raw on Netflix. It'll be a good thing. Is he going to
perform on it? They're going to have him perform on the show?
I mean, I would think musically, but maybe he'll take a bump or two. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure.
It'd be wild. I guess you could do it with a rapper before you could do that with somebody in a band. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, come out, do a song. And somebody interrupts him. Well, they did Machine. Hey, I've never loved Machine Gun Kelly, but he was down. Like, he went out there, Did he perform that? I don't know if he performed musically on that show. He did something like that, but he like took a pop-up powerbomb off the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know? So I can see, I've talked to some people that have worked those angles or produced them. And there's some people like that want to do it, and they get in there like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm scared.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bad Bunny is a G. I mean, he went.
Bad Bunny, he's the exception to the rule.
Yeah. But I mean,
Bad Bunny may cost people the presidential election based on his endorsement.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Reminder, ringside, what a day, Joe Laurie. A special live edition of Enter the Bloodline will air on this YouTube channel immediately after Crown Jewel on Saturday afternoon.
Nice.
I'll also be doing some videos for that as well. And we'll talk about all these different things and what's going on with them. Crown Jewel.
Yes.
Let's get in Crown Jewel.
Let's do it.
Our friend in Scotland says, rumors, the final boss, The Rock, is going to be at Crown Jewel. That would be a surprise. WWE has this big, $45 million per show, reportedly, in that range for Crown Jewel. And it is a deal they're not going to get out of, despite everyone's apprehensions about socio-political issues. This is on paper a very strong card.
Yeah,
I would say the last few Saudi Arabia shows have been better. I remember the first few years of it was just like there's always just some weird element to it that feels non-canon to everything in WWE, but we're supposed to believe that it's bigger. And there's an element to that here. But on paper, I mean, this Bloodline 6-man tag is a pretty big thing for casual diehard fans. You have Roman Reigns and the Usos taking on the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa and the Tongans.
Yes.
Who do you got there?
I got to roll with, I think there's going to be some foul play. I think there's going to be some foul play.
Is that where The Rock comes in? If you want to make Saudi Arabia happy, you have The Rock come in and like just lay the hands on somebody, right?
Yep. That's the match. If he's coming in, he's going to come and lay the smack down
and choose this. All right, which side is he on? That type of thing. And
yep, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, would that set up War Games? Would he work War Games?
I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah, because I think this is a lot of these matches I think are just gonna be like end in big elaborate angles for Survivor Series coming up next month. Yes, the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes will take on the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther, for the Crown Jewel Championship. Reportedly, this is something that the Saudi Arabian sports group that drops millions and millions of dollars. The first ever Crown Jewel champion will be determined, a champion versus champion match. They will win the title and keep it until next year's Crown Jewel. Okay, so maybe it's a title that's only defended in Saudi Arabia, so it's like the Saudi Arabian WWE Championship de facto. Yeah. So obviously a lot of people think this is supposed to be a big deal. These guys have been talking big matches. I will say I don't think the build has been bad, but it doesn't feel as big as it should be with these two names on paper, right?
Yeah, it's because there's no real deal. Like, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to take a shot at the Saudi title, but there's no, like, the Universal Championship, the Undisputed Championship's not on the line. The World Heavyweight Championship's not on the line. That's what we wanted to see with Gunther and Cody. We wanted to see it up for the Undisputed Championship, right? And I think a lot of people also are feeling that this won't be a clean finish either. Yeah, there's speculation that maybe Goldberg comes out.
That's another thing with this match. Like, Cody Rhodes has a major issue with Kevin Owens. Would Kevin Owens travel all the way to Saudi Arabia just to do an angle? Yes. So I do think that would happen, and because it's a big old payday, they give you a big old bag of money when you go, and so I think that's a possibility. So it's just like, all right, so that kind of makes that one. And then it writes off the first match. It's a huge dream match scenario of Cody and Gunther to me. I do think it's a special match, and you could do some special things with it. That could be a WrestleMania match. And I don't know. Like, I want the match to feel bigger than it is. First ever Crown Jewel champion versus champion, a women's Crown Jewel champion scenario here with Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. And I feel almost similar to the Cody Gunther situation. This champion versus champion thing kind of like cancels some stuff out. It feels like we don't have Rhea Ripley. We know she's not going to be there. And we know Dirty Dom's going to get involved. But is this a Tiffy time cash in? Does she go all the way to Saudi Arabia and make that long plane flight just to cash in and win a title?
I could see it happening now. I don't know. I've already said that every match that we've talked about, there's going to be a run-in of some sort. So I don't know if they can do it with every match, but I think she could. I mean, didn't Liv won the championship in Saudi, didn't she? Oh, no.
She did. No. Did she? No. Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah, she got it. She got it from Becky Lynch. That's right.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Now, I don't think she's going to take it off of Liv. I think it's going to be a turn on Nia Jax if she's going to do it. But she has been teasing either one. You never know. But I just don't think you take the title off of Liv right now. If you're going to take it off of anybody, if Tiffy does come in, she's got to betray her best friend, Nia Jax.
Someone corrected me. Yes, I didn't get to Kevin Owens versus that. I was not reading my card correctly. I'm sorry about that. And then people saying, what about a heel turn of Randy Orton on Cody Rhodes? I would hold off on that.
Yeah.
If Cody Rhodes isn't in the world title picture by the time he has WrestleMania, I think he wants a special match, and that's a special match he can have, and get involved in that. But I also think they're teasing something with Orton and Owens beyond just this one match. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, personal issues, big deal. I think the non-title matches on this show are so much more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And have been built up to what's such more personal issues. Randy Orton wants Kevin Owens. WWE will refuse the match to happen. Triple H being prompted to come out to the ring when he didn't want to be there. Randy Orton saying, you got to give this match. You're protecting Kevin from me. He's always been your golden boy. You have to win the title. I'm protecting you from him. Protecting you know, I'm trying to keep you safe, Randy.
You're too old, Randy.
I know what he alluded to.
That's what he was saying.
And so, big personal match. Randy Orton, I think, had a very good match with Gunther at King of the Ring. That was underrated.
Yeah.
And Randy can still go in these big match scenarios. If Kevin Owens is indeed locked into a WWE deal, I think he wants to make it beneficial to WWE. Yeah, you put more money into me. You gave me these spots. I think Kevin Owens is winning this match.
Okay.
I think Kevin Owens is putting Randy Orton on the shelf. And I think this is Kevin Owens' marching statement into WrestleMania season. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to destroy every franchise guy you have because you went with Cody, and you've put me in this position where I don't get opportunities that I deserve anymore. And when I do, something else happens and I lose. And it's going to be this chip on the shoulder, Kevin Owens. That's what I think is going to happen. What do you think?
I 100% agree. That's the way you got to go. I mean, they're building up this Kevin and Cody thing. You got to have them put Randy on the shelf. I don't know about putting him on the shelf. I could see that happening for sure. But you got to keep the momentum going with Kevin. Have him destroy guys, and then have that big build up to the match with Cody, of course. But yeah, that's the way it's going to go. I also have Kevin Owens winning, but they're going to make Randy Orton's going to put on a phenomenal match. But are you saying like on the shelf, like you think he's done after this, or just
no, just like an injury or something?
Okay,
like
yes, for sure, yes, definitely.
Now on Backstage Pass, the speculation I brought this up earlier.
Uh-huh.
This is crazy that TC and Joe were talking about this.
Yeah,
now WrestleVote's getting all the scoops in the wrestling world. They brought up this speculative point because Triple H got in the ring and got involved in this angle. He hasn't been involved in too many angles as the WWE authority figure, but he's involved in this angle, and he was firmly in it and did dialogue that was consequential. I'm protecting you from him, da 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 da. And they've alluded to it, but now they're saying yeah, Triple H is the authority figure. Even though you have a Nick Aldis, even though you have an Adam Pearce, you just know there's personal relationships here that are so. If you're a casual fan, you even know, he's their real boss. You know that. So for him to do that, it's okay, so where's this going? And then on this Backstage Pass, you need to listen. I was literally listening to it before we went live today, and I almost spat out my Mountain Dew. All right. I like keeping my Mountain Dew in my mouth. And it'll call me off. Could Triple H get physical again? Could he be involved in some way in this storyline and get physical? A guy who had a very serious heart surgery, put his boots in the ring, at WrestleMania 38, said that was it, has very much become an executive during WWE's most very stressful time of a transition in ownership and all these different things, and Vince McMahon leaving and him taking over the company. He's the most powerful and influential man in the professional wrestling business creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be out of line for him to book himself into an angle? I don't know. Is he going to wrestle again? I don't know. Is a doctor going to clear him? Looks like he's in great shape. Doesn't look like he's out of shape. But, he has very serious heart issues.
Right.
Does he want to risk that and get in the ring? He's gone on the record saying, no, it's not going to happen. But I wouldn't put him being a special guest referee out of question here.
I would love to see
That's where I think he could get involved. And nothing to say he can't give somebody a pedigree.
Yeah.
If the knees are good, the quads are really good, you feel all right, and gets out there and gets involved in this thing. And maybe that's something that happens.
Yeah. I mean,
at WrestleMania. If he does that, even if he's a special guest referee, WrestleMania.
I would love to see that. And I think that's the furthest you can go with that. Triple H trying to protect other people from other wrestlers. Triple H, protect yourself from yourself. But at the same time, that would be a great moment. And he's already, he's got the heart issues, but a lot of that he's already dealing with, the anxiety of going out there in front of a huge crowd. He handles it well. And that's a huge, heart pounding moment when you just step out in front of thousands and thousands of
just
people.
To talk.
Yeah, just to talk. So I think that, he is working his way up to it. I don't think he's going to wrestle by any means, but a guest referee would be perfect. Giving somebody a pedigree, the fans would love it. It would be great for WWE, but don't take it any further than that.
Since the heart surgery, has he done anything like that?
So. I haven't seen him give a pedigree to anybody.
No, I don't think he has either. Another one that's come together is Seth Rollins, who's really had serious injury issues this year.
Yeah.
But he's still come out and had great performances. He's been back in the mix with WWE. Had a wild brawl with Bronson Reed. Now, Bronson Reed's signature is these big, elaborate, produced backstage brawls recently, which I have loved. It is so much gaga. It is so ridiculous and over the top. And Bronson is huge. And Bronson breaks the ring and puts people through tables and breaks the barrier. They've done too many of the barrier breaks. But they've done he giving a tsunami splash to someone on top of a car and the windows bust out with Braun. That was really elevating him, and putting Rollins on the shelf. Now Rollins back. Rollins cost him a title, all these different things. Now they're doing this match, but I'm surprised it isn't like last man standing or a street fight or anything goes. And I could see that maybe changing on the card. They add that element. I could see this being the let's go wrestle around the stadium type match at Crown Jewel. Does Rollins need this or does Bronson need this? I think Bronson needs this more than Rollins does.
Yeah, definitely. Rollins is an established wrestler in the company, top tier wrestler, has held the title, has done it all. I think this is the time you put over Bronson Reed. You want him to be a big time player in the company. You want to make him one of the top heels. You have to beat Seth Rollins here. And I love the way that they've been building him up. Kind of came out of nowhere, but when it did, it came with force, and you love to see it. I also love those segments because you never know when they're going to happen. You see people, giving their vignette.
That's been the fun part of Raw. It was of Raw in the past few months. The Bronson has been one of those guys who are I'm watching what he's doing.
Yep. Yeah.
And I want to see the next crazy thing they have him do. And he's done well with it. He's not the most fastest guy in the world, but for a big man, he moves well.
Oh, he does. He moves well.
Yeah. And he's a spectacle. That's what you want. Yep. United States champion LA Knight will take on Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade have had a 7-match series. And LA Knight was the special guest referee getting himself involved in this. Does LA Knight lose the title? Ooh, I don't think so.
I don't think
But then
so
I'm also
either.
why have a 7-match series to build both Andrade and Carmelo up for something and have neither of them win the title?
Yeah, I mean, I just think LA is going to hold on here as well, but I wouldn't be mad if Andrade or Carmelo Hayes won the title. They're both very well deserving of a
If you want to do a surprising outcome on the show,
yes,
this is the match where I would do that.
Yeah. I want to see Andrade hold the belt. I want to see him. I think he's put in the work. He works great in the ring. I'm wearing my lucha mask today. So I'm going to go with my man Andrade.
You're still sticking with it, man. You're
I'm
so
still
sweaty.
sticking with it.
You're I mean, I couldn't go 3 minutes with it.
That's
what she said. Oh,
yeah. This one's not as. I've had other luchador masks where they're not comfortable at all. This one pretty snug. It's right on there, and it's nice.
When the women perform in WWE in Saudi Arabia, they have to wear the bodysuits, right? They have to get these designer bodysuits on because of the regulations. Right? Another issue. The WWE Women's Tag Team 4-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, defended by Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, will see Kairi Sane and Io Sky against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And the odd addition of NXT superstars Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson. I don't want to get in trouble, but I don't know if Lash and Jakara are ready for this. But it's a 4-team match.
Right.
So even if they're just there, that's kind of most of it. It's just being a part of the match. The craziest thing would be Lash and Jakara win the titles. I just think they need more seasoning. Seeing the match they had recently on NXT, there were some issues with it, and there was this, there was that, but like they're like one of those teams like, oh, they're gonna get it together, like they'll see it, you know. And Lash had that fun moment where she got to body slam Otis, which was really, really cool. That was one of my favorite things I've seen on NXT. But it's just like you're pulling the trigger a little bit too early, maybe, you know. So and Bianca and Jade, I think we get something special with them, but this is a match. I think it's just Bianca and Jade winning the match. I don't see any challenge to them as champions right now. But the crazy thing would be, you know, if you want to do that wow title change, this is another opportunity to do that. I think lower down the card you can do the surprising upset stuff here, and maybe Chelsea and Piper Niven getting it would be fun and interesting as well.
Yeah, if it is going to change, that's where I see it going, is to Chelsea and Piper Niven. But yeah, Lash Legend, you know, that tag team right there, I think that they, you know, maybe they're giving them a little reward, but at the same time, like, okay, you wanted a taste, here's a taste. And we're gonna see if, you know, maybe they think they're ready, maybe they've been begging for this, and Sean's like, okay, we'll give you a shot. But I don't know, but I do agree with you. I think that there are other talents in NXT, and I don't want to get in trouble either. That could have been on this match, but to me, I see Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair dominating this one and taking the belts back home with them.
Big Stacy, how you doing? Big Stacy, been with me for years. Shout out, Stacy. Thank you so much. Will Sami Zayn be the 4th member of the OG Bloodline? This was alluded to on Raw. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn having kind of an exchange, and Sami Zayn, you shouldn't get back with Roman. You can't trust Roman. Roman abused you. Roman manipulated you. And is Jey going to get back together with his brother? It does seem like that's going to happen, but he's still like, hey, I'm not hugging you yet. I can still remember that you and I fought at WrestleMania. Roman, I can still remember the crap you pulled, which I like. Like, you can't just be, oh, forget bygones, be bygones. We're buddies, we're brothers again.
Yeah.
Not that simple. Because also there's a lot of TV to get to before we get to Survivor Series. So I don't think you need to like pull the trigger and say, yeah, here's the match we're all expecting. Give me a little bit more build to it. You know what I mean? Give me a little bit more, lack of a better phrase, foreplay. But with Sami Zayn being the 4th member, it makes some sense to have him be involved. You know, since he was kind of a part of them when they were at like a peak faction, like that Bloodline. I can see him being involved in it. It'd be a great way to get him in. But my thing is, like, you don't have Sami Zayn. He's a huge name with fans. You know, when he got to be, he had some big matches for WWE in Saudi Arabia. I'm surprised he's not involved with this show, one of the big shows in the Middle East. And he's somebody who has that background and has done some big things in Syria and stuff like that. But obviously, there's some conflicts. Socio-political conflicts there that are make this weird, and I know there's other people. CM Punk's not on the show, and you know there's times reportedly when Kevin Owens didn't want to go. So you know, who knows? You know, I mean, I'm not saying that's a part of it either. I'm not trying to imply that in any way.
Right.
But do you want to go all the way to Saudi Arabia just to do an angle? But also, it's worth noting, Raw is not live this week. It was taped.
True.
I think Raw was taped this week. I know SmackDown was taped this week.
SmackDown was.
So you know, I think you know, Sami Zayn maybe getting involved in that match too would be a wild one if The Rock isn't going to show up. So Crown Jewel. Also love Saturday afternoon pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I do like that it's a Saturday afternoon pay-per-view. I get to watch this, rip a voiceover on it, and then go and do Q&A on radio. What's your plan for it? You doing Saturday afternoon pay-per-view?
I mean, I'm a little bit more Saturday morning, 10 a.m. over here on the West Coast.
Oh, that's right. You get in at 10 a.m. You get some breakfast.
Yeah, but exactly. You know, I think we've talked about this before. We're gonna go old school Saturday morning cereal, watching my my wrestling in the morning time. Like
wrestling. Get some wrestling.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I always love these daytime weekend PLEs for me because it gives you your whole rest of your day to do stuff too. You get a great entertainment on your television, watching some wrestling, and then you get to go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Vince McMahon's new company. What's the latest on this? Give me the details on this as I crack one open here.
Yeah, so basically they're, no official name or anything, but Vince McMahon is starting a new entertainment company. It's not going to be a wrestling company, but he is bringing some former WWE employees that he worked with over with him. They're already it's all already in the works, but I haven't seen an official name. I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing with this company, but it is an entertainment company, and I have been told that is not a wrestling company.
Now, PWI Insider verifiably breaking this, describing it as an entertainment hub company, and reportedly focusing on producing film and television products. So a production company, I think it's going to, he has money, he has money. I think this will be something where he gets involved in television production, which he's been involved with.
Yeah.
All the legal things for him aside, he's been involved with it. Now, Fightful saying that they've spoken to some people in Hollywood who would be reluctant at the level, but there are people that would be, quote, desperate to get something made and would go through a Vince McMahon production company to get that made. So that's true. That is the entertainment business. Financing something at the ground level is never easy. And WWE Films was a mixed bag, right, under Vince McMahon. I'm being lighthearted when I say that. But when they did do some success with it, it was mainly just them going and buying stuff that was already getting made, just helping it get distributed and stuff like that too. I think Oculus was like a lower budget, like under $10 million horror movie that they got, and those movies make their money back. But the profit margin is massive on them. So they're potentially Sports Illustrated on the takedown, saying that they're potentially preparing to launch should McMahon get cleared of charges with Los Angeles headquarters in the heart of Hollywood.
Okay.
And is this a sign of maybe that case getting settled? I've heard some people say that. I wouldn't say that's the truth. But man, he's tried other stuff outside of WWE. He had the World Bodybuilding Federation that went away, and it didn't, stay around for much longer. It had to do the steroid trial. He had the XFL with NBC's Dick Ebersol. That went away. They tried to relaunch it. Pandemic happened, had to sell it. So, WWE World, the restaurant and stuff like that too. My thing is he's got money to spend and try at things. And I'm trying not to bring up the legal stuff with him, which isn't going anywhere. And it's probably going to get more intense and more worse. I could just see that legal stuff just inhibiting anybody from wanting to do work with him, or at least a lot of people wanting to do work with him.
I definitely could see that too. I mean, you never want to get your hands dirty in this industry. You want to keep a clean slate.
Well, there's a lot of people that already have. There's a lot of people that already have.
Exactly. And working with McMahon,
how many people worked with the Weinsteins?
Right.
And Harvey Weinstein is an awful person who's been convicted of awful crimes against many people. Yeah. And dealt with them in different, and now there's a lot more people talking nasty things about them. That isn't so much about the crimes they've done, but how unethical they are to deal with and the creative process, and hey, the script is awful. And I've heard Rob Zombie did Howie Mandel's podcast, and he talked about his experience working with them on a Halloween reboot, how much he hated it. And you're like, oh wow, that does seem like a nightmare situation, somebody to work with. But you've heard people say the same thing about Vince McMahon. Yeah. And you're talking about, and also this isn't a 60-year-old Vince McMahon. This is a 79-year-old Vince McMahon. Yeah. And who knows? But then other people say, just retire, go away. It's not Vince McMahon.
Nah,
If you know anything about Vince McMahon, it's not his thing.
He's going to work until he rolls over and until he's in his grave.
I mean, if we didn't have this, if the legal issues he has, which by the way, I'm not ignoring them. I don't want people to think I'm ignoring them. If he didn't have them, he would work in this company until he died.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't think I have to have much insight on the wrestling business to know that. If you know anything about the entertainment business, that's just his MO, you know?
Yep.
So that is that.
That.
I want to ask this question before
Do
we
it.
sign off. And I want to ask you this. It is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It is spooky season. Scary thing for me, don't know what I'm wearing to the Q101 Halloween bash tonight.
Oh.
And I got to figure out my costume. I want to do Macho Man, but you have to like go and get the costume. It's be very, very elaborate. But I'm like, is there a way for me to do Macho Man, like a low rent Macho Man? Just get the t-shirt and the bandana and the sunglasses. I don't think that's enough. You know?
Man, yeah, I know. You gotta cut the streamers. You gotta.
I'll cut streamers.
Yeah, you can do
I'm
that.
down for cutting streamers.
Get the hat. You got to get the cowboy. You know, you gotta.
You have to have the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
right? You have to do the cowboy hat.
The sunglasses with the Macho Man.
At least sunglasses or the bandana, right?
Yeah,
maybe the cowboy hat. But I will document this and try something.
You're gonna have to send pictures.
Here we go. IF Wibbin saying, let's go. Glad to see y'all on live. Thank you. And also I want to say hi to the people that are watching on demand. I know plenty of people do that. Please, if you don't watch all of the show live, try to catch it on demand as well. That really, really helps us out. I hear from a lot of people who tend to like catch it streaming live, and then they tell me they just go listen to the audio afterwards, which is wonderful. Thank you for doing that too. It really, really helps us out. And if you guys enjoy the show, I appreciate it. I want to make sure you guys feel it. Let's get. I want to ask this question, and you guys can answer it, and then give me your answers to this question. But I'll also answer some of your questions. It is Halloween.
Yes.
It is spooky. I remember being a kid who was terrified of some professional wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
They were physically intimidating figures. Which wrestler scared you as a child? Which one?
I mean, I think the first time I saw Kane come out, I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And I was in my grandma's basement. All the lights were off. And it's Kane. That's gotta be Kane.
It's gotta be Kane. And it was the red light too. Didn't they have the red light on him the whole time when he came out? Did they have the red light on him when it was Bad Blood, 97, 98, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago, yeah.
And he comes out, it's Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
He rips the door off the cell.
Yep.
And they had teased this for a while. It was wildly over the top, but definitely like your brother who died in a fire is coming back to like, oh wow, that's so soap opera-y, but also wrestling. And it was so ridiculous. And then is that the same show where he put him in a casket and then lit it on fire? Or was that a different show?
I think it might have been a different one. I don't know, but I just no matter what, that first time he came out there, I was terrified.
No. They did that because they did the Hell in a Cell, then they did the casket match, right?
Yeah, the casket match.
And that's one where Shawn got hurt. Shawn got hurt in that match, and that eventually led to his back injury.
Yeah.
And then they think they did that here.
Yep.
Other people saying what wrestlers they're scared of. The Boogeyman eating worms. I can see the Boogeyman being terrifying. If you were like Boogeyman, I think his first name is Marty. Boogie is a guy who lied about his age to get into Tough Enough. Yeah. All right. Is absolutely 100% dedicated to his gimmick. Is missing his whole front teeth due to an accident in the ring. Yeah. And eats worms. Eats worms.
Crazy.
And we'll put on the garb and go and be Boogeyman everywhere. Multiple people will say the Boogeyman.
You see,
not a great wrestler. Not a great wrestler.
No, but he's a character. He's a gimmick.
Yeah,
and
he knows what he is.
Did you see him scaring the new wrestlers?
Oh yeah, they've done this a couple of years. Where they did like a live stream with him, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, and they just had him like play with toys or something like that. Like it was just like, and he was just in character, like talking to you as the Boogeyman. And then every 5 minutes, I'm the Boogeyman. I'm going to get you.
Yes, I do remember that. That was hilarious.
He did a bit with Trump. He did a bit with Trump on TV.
Yes, he did. He's crazy.
Undertaker.
Of course. Of course.
The Undertaker in the early 90s, as the kid, they would do the cutaways to children in the audience who were like, oh, like, look, Mom,
Yeah.
Mom, he's wow. And you have Bobby Heenan be like, wow, that kid's gonna have nightmares all night because of the Undertaker, you know. And it was the cornball of it, and he was legitimately terrifying.
He was. I was scared of him, but he was eventually turned into my favorite wrestler. You know,
yes,
so it's like,
he turned into my favorite as well. So definitely a wild time here. I hope you guys are all having a great Halloween. And I know I have a couple questions here. Do you think Tiffany's going to cash in and win the women's title and the Saudi title? I don't know if she'd win the Saudi title. I could see Tiffany cashing in. This is an opportunity to do that and make some wild things. This is one of those off-kilter shows where I think it could happen. Do you do that, or do you wait for TV?
You know, I could see it happening here, but I think there's going to be so much going on with like run-ins. Like we said that Gunther
you can't have too many on one show.
Yeah, so
yeah, you can't have too many on, because when we were doing the predictions, there's like, all right, how many of these matches can have run-ins or dusty finishes? You know,
right? So I don't know if it happens here. I think it is a possibility, but I think that they should save this for another time if they're going to have The Rock come out or Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens interfere in the matches or a Goldberg come. Then you save this for another time.
Benjamin Crimble, Benji Boy, says, when do we get Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker? This was teased on Raw a few weeks ago. Yeah. WWE officials reportedly very, very happy about the reaction to just teasing a big match. So many people are just like overstated. I'm not saying Jacob Fatu's value is overstated, but you and I have talked about this when we got scripts from Sportskeeda. Shout out to Sportskeeda. Boys, the guy's only wrestled on TV less than a year. Yeah. But I've had people say like, oh, he's gonna overpower this person, and I was like, whoa, slow down. But I do think this is a match where him and Braun can really run with it and do something special. Do we get that before WrestleMania? Is that a WrestleMania match?
It'd be a big time WrestleMania match. I don't see it happening at Survivor Series because I think that we do get a War Games with the Bloodline.
So he's already locked in there. I don't think you burn it in December. Oh, you do have to do some fun stuff on those shows before WrestleMania
night one
that aren't Royal Rumble, you know. So if you get this on a card in like December or February, I think that's interesting.
Saturday Night Live.
You mean the Saturday Night's main event?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know why I said Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night main event. Yes.
Well, no, that's not off because it used to be the thing that would like periodically replace Saturday Night Live. So
true.
You're not far off. December. No, that would be a big match to build to on December 14th. Would be a big match.
Could do it there. First episode of Raw on Netflix wouldn't be a bad one either. So
true, absolutely. I do think we get some version of it before WrestleMania. Something, you know, if it's not a tease, maybe a match, and then you definitely a tease, maybe a Royal Rumble. They find each other in that. Cool. Especially for the Intercontinental title, that's the lane to put Jacob in. Like if you want to have him like go after a title and go after like a goal, that'd be something like that. Because he's not like a verbally defined character. He's just like this larger than life, like, oh my God, look at this guy type energy. And do you want to overexpose him? I'm not saying he can't cut promos, he can't. But he's not known for that. Does that take away the mystique if he starts talking too much? I don't think it does, but maybe it could. You have to evolve. Some people said that with Braun, like he's talking too much. Just let him go out there and destroy people. You know?
Yeah.
So, all right, interesting times. You can take the mask off now. Reveal yourself, Nicholas. Reveal yourself. Let's see how sweaty your head is. You've lost the mask versus match match. That's Nicholas. He's been bald the whole time.
I shaved my head.
What? Wait, you gotta tell me that, dude.
I know. That's why I was like, I got to get the hat ready because we can't be two masked and then two bald guys too. But I just trimmed it down. It was wintertime. I don't know. I was getting annoyed with my hair, and I was like, you know what? Let's go all the way. And I did.
There you go. Bald is beautiful, brother.
Yeah,
you know,
I want to bring up one more
scary. Hulk Hogan said it on WWE television. It has to be true.
I do want to bring up one more scary figure that got me back in the day.
Oh no, yeah. We'll close on that because I was gonna. Yeah, definitely.
Papa Shango.
Go ahead.
Papa Shango.
Papa Shango. Oh, yes. Papa Shango making the ultimate warrior feel the spell, and then he's like spitting up the black goop. I remember as a kid just being terrified of that. Papa Shango is a character that never got to be everything it could have been. We never got Papa Shango versus. Did they ever do Papa Shango versus the Undertaker?
I don't think so, because I just remember
they did it like once or twice. But they never did.
It wasn't.
No, it was Undertaker versus like Kama Mustafa. I know they did that. Like when,
I remember
he wasn't
Kamala.
Papa Shango. Yeah,
it was. Papa Shango they could have done huge things with him. I remember just being like, why isn't he doing? He was one of my favorite action figures. After I was not scared of him anymore, I was like, this guy's awesome. But but
he's another cut to the kids in the crowd type shot they had in WWE.
Yeah, they're like,
oh, Mom, Dad, is he a real bad guy? Yes. Yes, he is.
He is.
Yes, can confirm. Can confirm bad guy status. Do want to remind you, Crown Jewel, we're going to be doing that live special, Into the Bloodline, right after WWE Crown Jewel with What a Day and Afa Anawahi of the Bloodline. Going to be on this show. New episodes of that drop up as well. We have episodes of you just detailing just how much of a dirty, no good son of a bitch Dominic is. Dominic Mysterio. That is up on the channel. And also want to tell you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also check out the other things we're doing. Did WWE destroy Finn Balor's main event potential? A question asked. I don't know if we answered it. WWE's huge Triple H problem, and how AJ Styles could possibly retire. So those are all just right there. That's like over an hour of fresh content for you on the channel that you guys can check out. That's up on Sportskeeda Wrestling. Thank you guys so much. 162,000 subscribers. Can we get to 200 before the end of the year?
Let's do it. Let's make it happen, people.
Let's make it happen. Thank you guys so much. You can follow Nick on the machine. Nick, what machines do they follow you on?
You can follow me on the X or Twitter at Nick_Harksen. That is NICK_HARKSEN. Or go follow my band at 2 Piece Music. Do that. Uh-oh.
You cut out there, buddy. Can you hear me?
Oh, you cut out as well.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
I cut out as well. All right, so hopefully we're good. Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Get your plug in there, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll do it one more time. Instagram at Nick_Harksen. X at Nick_Harksen. Follow my band at 2 Piece Music.
Go ahead. I love the vibes. Good stuff. Q101, quite busy. If you want to check out the big rock concert we're doing, which is December 13th with the band Bush. You can go to Q101.com. Q101.com. I am talking to you here on the 31st. If you're watching live or you listen to this podcast on the 31st, within 24 hours, this may cut off tonight for November 1st. We have a special flash sale on concert tickets for that show with Bush. $40 all in. $40 all in. All the prices, everything all in for a GA show. So imagine going to an arena to see a big arena rock band, but every seat is on the floor. That's what we're doing at the Aragon Ballroom, December 13th in Chicago. Details, Q101.com. A lot of other comedy stuff coming up for me. I have my big Odd Thruple comedy tour the first week of December. That will be in upper northern Wisconsin, in and around Green Bay. You can follow me on Instagram at KevKellum6 for all the goody good stuff on that. Also, some big interviews coming.
Oh, yeah.
Big interviews. So keep an eye on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Remember, when watching wrestling, please do the most thing. Public service announcement. Inspect all of your candy. Okay? Make sure you look both ways when you cross the street. When you're trick-or-treating or going to the bar. Okay? Do that. But remember, when watching wrestling, please do the most important thing. Which is what, young Nicholas? What should they do?
Enjoy wrestling.
See ya. Bye.